Wanted to make this video to kind of give everybody an idea of what my experience on Adderall was over the last year. And really what prompted this video, or the thought for this video, is that somebody commented on a previous video that I made where I was explaining the clinical trial that I'm in. Somebody commented and was asking my opinion on stimulants versus non-stimulants, and I'm not the right person to ask that question, just because I've only really had the experience with Adderall. Now I'm having the experience with this clinical trial where it is a non-stimulant, so I guess I can compare it a little bit. But for sure, I'm not a medical expert. This video is not going to be for me to convince you not to take Adderall, but it's not for me to convince you to take it either. There's so many different types of drugs out there. There's the stimulants, right, which affect your central nervous system and are going to increase your dopamine, your serotonin, your norepinephrine. That's how you pronounce it. It'll do that. And then you got the non-stimulants, which will also boost all the dopamine and the serotonin and all of that, but aren't going to give you that central nervous system reaction where you're wired. So to kind of go into that a little bit, what is Adderall? Adderall is a stimulant drug. Again, it affects your central nervous system. It increases or boosts the levels of serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and it just helps you focus. As far as the stimulants go, there's a lot of different ones. Some that you may have heard of in addition to Adderall are probably Ritalin, Concentra, Vyvanse, and there's just a lot of different ones, and each one has different side effects and different effects on people in general. So it's something where the person just has to try out different things in order to find out what works for them. Now, in my case, I just went straight with Adderall. I kind of made that decision. I don't know. I really wasn't guided into the decision. I had taken Adderall one time before. Somebody had given me one. It made me feel really good, and I went with it. The doctor didn't really push anything else. He kind of, just asked me if I wanted stimulant or non-stimulant, and when I said that I wanted stimulant, we went with Adderall. But now that I'm in this clinical trial, there was another video that I posted the other day. I can kind of compare the stimulant to the non-stimulant, and so this video, I wanted to just go over the pros and the cons that I found over the last year on Adderall. I started probably sometime in March or April of 2018, and I just came off of it probably towards the end of May of 2019. So it was a year, and I'll go through the pros first, but then I'll go through the cons. And for me, at least for a year, the pros definitely outweighed the cons. I don't know if I feel like that today, taking the non-stimulant, but that's, it's another story for another video. Just talking about the pros. One of the big pros is that it helped me focus. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. My focus increased, my control increased. I am the type of person that if I'm not on medication, I will interrupt people when they're speaking. I will finish people's sentences in meetings, company meetings. I would just say things at the wrong time, and it wasn't, it's not things that are completely out of place, just in the wrong sequence of the conversation. So the drug definitely helped me control all of that, focus a lot more. I wanted to get things done, working on spreadsheets or PowerPoint presentations or things that just took a while. Like, it was okay. I could hunker down and work on something for 5-6 hours without breaking concentration. The other thing is that it did give me energy. I woke up in the morning and it was the first thing that I did. It was take my pill, and it was like as if I had 2 cups of coffee already. I was up, I was aware, I was awake. It was awesome, and it really helped, especially for when I couldn't sleep, because if I hadn't slept well, at least I knew that I had this stimulant that, boom, I take it and I'm gonna be awake. Um, so as far as, how I felt, those were kind of definitely the pros. I'll tell you one other pro, it's kind of like a side effect, loss of appetite. Honestly, I had been wanting to lose about, 10, 20 pounds, and on Adderall, it was actually pretty easy. I don't know if it's because I was so concentrated on other stuff that I would forget to eat or just didn't feel hungry. But it did suppress my appetite, and I ate a lot less than I normally did. So that was a plus. I can't say that that was something that I didn't like. So, but those were the pros. I mean, the drug did what it was supposed to do. It helped me concentrate. It helped me focus. It gave me that control that I needed and that I wanted. But of course, like everything else, it comes with negatives. So I'll start off with this one. Finding the correct dose was very hard. I think that psychiatrists, they just start you out at at least mine did. He just said, okay, we're going to start you out at 20 milligrams. And I was taking the IR pills, which are immediate release. You take 2 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Eventually, I went to XR, which is extended release. It's 1 pill. It lasts you all day. But he started me on 20 milligrams. And honestly, I felt like my heart was going to pop out of my chest. If I drank coffee on top of that, I mean, good Lord, it was awful. And, and I felt just, I guess kind of like a steroid. I don't know. I've never taken steroids. I can't attest to that, but just kind of like that rage, angry, pent up, just emotion. I concentrated way too much on things that I shouldn't have concentrated on. So, finding that dose was hard. And I went from 20 to 15 and then finally settled on 10 milligrams, which was good. That is what so it took me probably about 2-3 months to get to the right dose. And then once I got to the right dose, that lasted me until I stopped the medication, and it worked well at that point. But finding that correct dose initially, that was hard. It did create some issues. The timing of the pill, you've got to take it at the same time every day if possible. If I took it, too late in the day, it would just throw me off. If I took it in the afternoon, forget it. I wasn't going to sleep, right? Because it's a stimulant. So you've got that energy and you can't sleep. So the timing of when you take it, like you've got to be pretty precise about it and take it kind of at the same time. I mean, obviously if you sleep in one day, that's fine. But you've got to take it at close to the same time, and don't miss. I couldn't miss a dose. If I missed a dose, so if I missed 1 day of my pill, it wouldn't be immediate, but about 2-3 days later, I had a very noticeable change in my emotions and my overall reaction to things, my mood. I mean, it was noticeable. My wife would tell me all the time, she would ask me, did you miss your pill the other day? And the answer was usually yes. So that was definitely a con, and that all has to do with that timing again, right? Just making sure you're taking that pill at the right time. It felt like a drug. It felt like it was unnatural energy. I would take it and it was like as if I was hopped up. It didn't feel awful. It just felt unnatural. Like it wasn't real energy coming from my body, but from an external source, kind of like as if I had too much coffee. So I kind of didn't like that. It made me feel drugged. And that was for sure not something that I liked about it. Here's a very big issue. Here's something that I really didn't like. So I would take my pill in the morning, usually around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And it lasts, they say it should last about 10 to 12 hours, the extended release. Well, so that would put me right around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening when I'm coming home from work. So the entire day at work, I was on fire, getting stuff done. I'm energetic. I'm rocking and rolling. I get home and I crash, right? Because now the drug's not in my system. So now I'm not focusing, I'm not concentrating, and I just feel tired. It's kind of like coming off of a sugar rush, right? I had too much sugar and you're all excited and jumping off the walls, and then all of a sudden you crash. It's the same feeling. At least it was for me. So I just felt bad that I got home and that was the side that my family saw of me. I didn't like that. And I guess that with a higher dose, it would have been even worse. Even just with a 10 milligram, that was a daily thing. I had a crash. And even when I took the, even when I took the immediate release, that was the 2 pills daily, when the first one was wearing off, you would feel that lull in energy and focus, and you'd have to take the other one and you'd come back up. But that would happen, and I did not like that at all. Visits every 3 months. I had to go to the psychiatrist every 3 months in order for me to get the pill. From what I understand, it's because it is a stimulant, it's state regulated or federal government regulated, whatever it was. They couldn't let me go more than 3 months without being seen. And it makes sense, right? There's a problem with abuse of Adderall, so they need to be careful. But I had to go to the doctor every 3 months. So if I couldn't make it to one of my visits and I had run out of my pill, then I was in trouble. I mean, it would take a lot of begging and pleading to get the pill and, be able to make sure that I was able to take it on time. And once or twice I did actually miss doses because I wasn't able to make it to my appointment. So that was inconvenient and not conducive to following the treatment exactly the way that would have made me feel well. And then here's the last thing, okay? Remember, we said at the beginning, this drug also treats narcolepsy. So that means that if you're taking it during the day, you're not gonna sleep during the day, kiss naps goodbye, they're gone, you can't take a nap. And if you took that pill way too late, then you're not sleeping that night. And I don't know if, for me, insomnia is a bit of an issue because I just can't shut off my brain normally, right? Even when I'm not medicated. But then when I am medicated, I still can't shut off my brain and I can't sleep, I can't rest. So that, was definitely something that I didn't like about it. Once I had the timing down, yes, it wasn't an issue because I would make sure not to take the drug late. But when I did, it made sleep very difficult. So there was a lot of sleepless nights where I'd just be up watching TV because I couldn't sleep. So, that's my take on it. That's my experience on Adderall over the last year. Is it a good drug? Yeah, it helped me. I had a very difficult year. Over the last, from 2018 to now, it was a very difficult year work-wise, and it got me through it. I was able to do things that I had not done before. I was able to concentrate in ways and focus in ways that I had never focused before. And even at home, my wife would say that she noticed a huge difference in how I was. So, is it a good drug? For me, it was. It worked for a year. Honestly, now that I'm on a non-stimulant, would I prefer a non-stimulant over Adderall? Possibly. I haven't had enough experience with this other drug to say that for sure. But, again, it's a matter of finding out what works for you, tailoring it for you, and making sure you're working in conjunction with your doctor so that they can prescribe what works best for you. So I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any questions, I'm an open book. Feel free, send me a message, and I'd be more than happy to even connect with you offline and talk about the subject. So I hope you guys have a great day.